What is the gap and the change kind of been like for yourself going from a school like Harvard in the Ivy League to now being in the Big East and playing at Georgetown?
So far, I mean, I haven't really seen too much because we haven't played any games yet. But
Yeah.
I mean, from the NIL perspective, a lot of schools have collectives. That's probably the biggest difference. In the Ivy League, I'm not sure who has collectives. I know at Harvard we did not have a collective, but that's probably like the biggest difference I've seen so far in terms of the NIL situation is that you have collectives with the bigger programs, and then with the smaller programs, some programs don't have a collective at all. So it makes it a little bit difficult to make NIL money.
So if you think that a school like Harvard or any of those schools that maybe don't have the NIL collective set up yet, if they were to set something up and Harvard could have had a collective in place, would that have made staying at Harvard a more likely possibility for yourself?
I feel like if Harvard or schools in the Ivy League had collectives, then it'll be tough for recruits to say no.
Yeah.
It's great coaching in the Ivy League. You can't say no to the schools. I feel like if they had collectives, then they'll be a force to be reckoned with. But to get guys now, you gotta have more than just good coaching and good schooling. Like some people need certain things, and I feel like if those schools did have collectives though, then it'll you already see Yale won game in the tournament, Princeton won game in the tournament. Princeton probably could have made the tournament again this year if they don't lose to St. Joe's in the regular season. Cornell gave Ohio State run for their money without Chris Manning. So I feel like if those schools had collectives, then it'll get scary for the power 6-5, whatever it's called, power. It'll get scary for those schools for sure.
Now, obviously, you have the opportunity potentially. We don't know what guys got in store for you over the next year, but you could go play pro after this next season. But if you do stay for more than just 1 year, we know that the new rules coming into place in the beginning of the next season and next year, 2025, where you guys are going to start being paid money regardless of what happens. Obviously, we're still trying to figure out how it's going to break down and everything. But just being a part of all this changes happening in college basketball between the NIL aspect and now you're going to be able to get paid money just legitimately. What's this been like, and how excited are you for that aspect?
I try not to focus too much on the money aspect. I wasn't making any money before this year, so it's not something that I'm just big invested on. I feel like if you too focused on the money, then your production won't be the same. So I try not to look at the money too much. I try to just go after what I'm going after day by day, and whatever comes with it is what comes with it. So I'm not sure. I don't even look into the rules too much. I kind of just go with what the people in my circle are telling me and what I've been reading and doing my own research. So for next year, I'm not sure what it'll look like. I'm just kind of attacking this day by day for sure.
I want to touch up a little bit more on that part you just talked about, because you kind of brought that up when you're on the Point Forward podcast, talking about the shift in so many kids' mentality when they start getting the bag and they start getting some money, that their work ethic kind of starts to go away a little bit. They don't work as hard. They get a little bit satisfied per se. How have you been able to say, you know what, even though all this is now applying to myself, that I'm going to stay focused, I'm going to keep grinding? And how do you also work that balance between, keeping it a business in a certain sense of being able to make money, but also still worrying about, what, I want to not just be playing basketball throughout my college career. I want to go make a lot of money and be able to play this game for many, many years to come.
Yeah. I'm able to keep my head on straight just by knowing that, okay, college athletes, we getting paid, we having fun, but if you look at what these NBA guys is getting, you ain't making nothing. So if your motivation is the money, you should be looking at the NBA like to eliminate that by putting the work in and knowing that if I put the work in, okay, I'm gonna have the production. So I feel like for me, the way I look at it is I gotta produce, and I can't take no steps back. So I'm gonna put my work in and keep going. But if your motivation is the money, I feel like you should be looking at the NBA like, okay, he a role player. He just signed for $50 million for 2 years. I'm worried about $500,000 or like that ain't nothing really. You know what I'm saying? Like people, I ain't gonna sit. Not everybody makes that. That's a large lump sum of money, but NBA players is in a different realm when we talk about money. So if your motivation is the money, I think you should be looking at the NBA like, all right, I'm trying to get there. But for me, my motivation is just the game and trying to be successful in what I'm doing and keep putting one foot in front of the other. So that's the way I look at it.